There was a time when Earth had no flowers at all, no colors, no petals, no fragrance in the air, only a vast, silent green world that feels almost impossible to imagine today. The entire planet was covered in simple vegetation, but it lacked the beauty, variety, and brightness that flowers would later bring to life. This was a world before modern beauty existed, when nature was still in its earliest and most primitive stages of land-based evolution. More than 400 million years ago, the first plants slowly began to spread from water onto land, marking one of the most important turning points in Earth's history. These early plants were extremely small and simple in structure, surviving only in moist environments near rivers, lakes, and wetlands. They reproduced through spores, tiny reproductive units that required constant moisture, making them heavily dependent on wet conditions to survive and spread. Because of this limitation, early plant life remained restricted to damp regions and could not yet conquer dry land or harsh environments. Over millions of years, plants gradually evolved more complex structures that allowed them to adapt to changing conditions on Earth. One of the most important developments was the ability to transport water internally through specialized systems, which allowed plants to grow much taller and stronger. This evolution led to the rise of vast prehistoric forests filled with ancient plant groups such as club mosses, horsetails, and early fern-like species. Some of these plants reached enormous heights, growing as tall as modern trees and forming dense, swamp-like forests that covered large parts of the planet. Even with these massive forests and increasing complexity, the world still had absolutely no flowering plants at all. Later in plant evolution, seed-producing plants appeared, marking another major transformation in how plants reproduced and spread across the planet. Unlike earlier plants, these new species did not rely on water for reproduction, as wind became the main force carrying pollen from one plant to another. This group included conifers, cycads, and early gintan trees, which eventually became dominant across many prehistoric landscapes. During the age of dinosaurs, these seed plants formed the backbone of Earth's forests and ecosystems, covering continents with endless green vegetation. Despite their dominance and diversity, the world remained visually uniform, with landscapes dominated by shades of green and no bright colors anywhere. Around 130 million years ago, a major evolutionary breakthrough occurred with the emergence of the first flowering plants, known as angiosperms. These early flowers introduced a completely new strategy of reproduction by attracting insects, creating complex interactions between plants and animals for the first time. Over time, flowering plants spread rapidly, reshaping ecosystems across the planet and gradually replacing many ancient plant species, transforming Earth into the colorful world we see today.